Welcome back again, everybody. We've got part 2 now of the service I'm doing. I've just finished the tank lift, which if you want to go back and watch the other video, it's going to be a separate video of that. You can go back and watch that one, but this is the actual service now. So we're going to do the air filter, spark plugs and the radiator coolant change, and then we're probably going to put most of the top back together, tank on and stuff, and then do the oil change, because I want to make sure it starts back up before I do the oil change and warm it up a little bit just to get the oil out easier. So we will get straight on with that. Now the air filter first, everyone. All it is to finish with, I believe it's just a positive drive screwdriver. They take all these screws out, I think there's 8, somebody said. Get all these out and get it changed over. Okay, so I've got them screws out now. There's 8 screws in that. They need to come out. So I'll get a quick lift. Just comes out straight off. And we've got the air filter in here. Which, yeah, it's got some crap in it, like. So we'll get that changed out. And get a new one in, get that cleaned out a little bit. Check this sponge, there's an oil sponge here. Apparently you have to check, which... a little bit in it there. I'll get that cleaned out as well, and we'll get it keep it back together. So I'll see you soon. Right, now I got the air filter, I've got it cleaned out. That's the high flow. There's a tiny little bit of muck in there, next to nothing. There's nothing in that side, just a little bit of fluff thing in there, but yeah, other than that it's fine. So we've got the high flow filter is what's going back in, what I'm using anyway. Just run it out here. Bit new. That was back in the same way it came out, which is facing down. In there. Yeah, it was in there. It's the first time I've done this, you can tell. That was back on like that. Yeah, that's in there that way up. So the air, you see this metal grid there, and that goes back on like that. Screw these screws back in. I'll just put a couple in to start with just to locate everything. Start seating things down properly. Press down, that's fine. As you can see, throughout this I'm using the Halford set that I reviewed the other week. Up to now, I've had everything in I've needed. I'm only doing small jobs, but it's doing the job I need. So that's done for it. Let's just see everything in place, and I'll get the others in and I'll come back to you after that. So that's the air filter back on now and all done. I'm going to move on now and do the coolant. I'm going to drop the coolant now because I want to do the spark plugs. But to do the spark plugs I need to move the radiator out of the way a little bit. So I'm going to drop the coolant first, then do the spark plugs and then put the coolant back in once I've done them. So I'll get set up for the coolant and I'll come back to you in a minute. So I just thought I'd let you know what I'm using to do this job. I'm using the Ains manual. Obviously routine servicing and maintenance is here. So it's got everything you need to do, oil change and stuff. spark plugs, everything's in there. All your torque settings are in there. Everything you need to know. You come across anything that's not in a video. Do you know what I mean? I know videos are good. We use a lot of videos these days, but you need the torque settings and stuff. Problem solving, it's all in there. So for price you may as well pick one up. So that's what I'm using today. I'll be referring to the Ains manual and some videos. Okay, so I need to undo this nut here, which is just outside this water pump, and there's a nut just there at the bottom bit. Now you need to undo that nut there to get the water out, and when you put that back on you need to put a new crush washer on there, so make sure you do that. Got this pan down here to catch the water as well. It comes out, I don't know how fast it comes out, but we'll find out. Not very fast at all apparently. Oh yeah. Forgot guys, you need to take the radiator cap off on that one and then it comes out. Right, so now I've made a mess. I've got to undo this bolt down here. It's just under the radiator there. That one there it is. Just under the radiator bracket there. And then I might undo this pipe here and one on the other side, which will give me access into that. There's a spark plug just behind that pipe in there. Just in there. So I need access to that, and then you've got one here. One just there. And then on top of the cylinder, look, you've got one just there, which I'll probably start with this top end, and then another one just down there as well. So I'm going to start with this top end first. I'll get that done. And then yeah, I need to drain the coolant out of that as well at some point. So I'm going to get the spark plugs done, and then just before I refill it, I'll drain it and refill that when I refill. So we'll start there. We'll start with these two spark plugs here. Just one on there for anybody who's asking. I know there's a lot of people like these online and use them. There's a lot of comments get put on Facebook about, well, that's the Jamie Jones box just there. This is it. Got wired in my heated grips and my lights. Couple of fuses for each one, and then you've got an inline fuse there, whichever that adds up to, and it comes down, just plugs in somewhere just over here. There's a wire just down here that it plugs into. It's already there, you just have to plug into it. It's like an auxiliary wire, and that's it basically. You plug it in, and that takes your control for your live. And you've got your two positive and negative, I believe, to go on as well. And then yeah, you've got like 4 things you can run off it. So I just thought I'd mention that while I were here. Right, everybody, we're going to try and get these spark plugs out. I've took the HT cap off there, look. And it's a number 10 spark plug socket on this. A little crack, it pops off that one. First one out. I'll have a look at that. Right, so we've got some new ones going in. Start them by hand. Get them hand tight before you go on them. You can't cross thread them on that way. So just screw it nice and steady. Tight. You're supposed to use a torque wrench on these, but I don't have one. I've been tightening spark plugs up for years without one, so I don't actually use one, but it does in this book say how many newton meters I should be tightened up to somewhere. It also tells you in here if you tighten them up tight like that, and then you need to give them, I think it's half a turn. Yeah, It says for new plugs being used, tighten them half a turn after the washer is seated. That's plenty tight enough, that. Not even half a turn, so that is good. See the HT cap, that goes back in there. And like that, make sure you push that right in there, and that seals up the top, stop any water and stuff getting in. So I'll have a look at this next one, and I'll come back to you when I figure that one out. So just pulled a couple of pipes out of the way, just move them to one side and then get your fingers around it. That's the only problem when you're doing these jobs, you've got big hands. Everything's hard to get to. Right. That's that out of the way. That's the breather pipe there for the tank, another tank in there. Sure, you can see it. Just gonna get the right angle on this. There we go. And obviously drop that. Drop that now. That's that spark plug out. That's that tight. Just need to break the seal and then give them a good polish to come off. Alright, do the other side. Okay, so undone radiator on both sides, which now gives us access to here. This front end, this front cylinder plug. HT cap out. Right, so let's get this front plug out. Just worked it out, and I've got the spark plug socket on. Like that, and I can't get my ratchet quite in there properly because whatever that is there, I'm not sure what it is. But I can't get my ratchet in anyway, so I put this little extension into there, and then that into there. You can see that, but yeah, it's just on it. Let's just get it to crack up. Take that off now. Take that one out and do it by hand. It's a very fiddly one. This is definitely a fiddly one, but I think up to now it's not been too bad. So that's that plug out. Grab a new one and chuck it in. Done. Okay, so the last plug, while this pipe's off here, is just here behind it. This is your last one, or my last one I should say. Once the plug's done, so I need to button up these pipes, get these back on, which will take me minutes. fasten all this back up, and I've already got the plug in for the drain plug in, so I'll get these put back together and then we'll chuck some water in it. That's what I've got going in. Right, so I've got the tank back on. Just going to plumb everything underneath back on, and then we'll drop it back down, bolt it in place and give it a try. Let's try this anyway and give it a start. Right, next job. I've run up the temperature a little bit. Just waiting for it to cool down a little bit so I can top the coolant back off. But while it is, I'm going to have a look at the dropping this oil. That's a bit warm. So the drain bolt is right there. You can see it's just in here. So it's just underneath here. There's a hole in mine, so I can pump it's just there. Get a light for that. Just put that in that way, right. So yes, you can see it straight through there. It's that bolt there at the back. So you undo that and drain the oil out and drop it out. Right, so it's a 14 mil that. I've just had a look. Look at that cracked off. Right, so I'm going to try and do this without losing the knot, which I think is going to be all getting covered in oil. What do you think, people? Am I going to get covered in oil or not? Eh? Right, so as you can see, I've had to take the sump guard off. I tried to do it with just the sump guard on, trying to be lazy, but they all came out and just hit the sump guard, and everyone went everywhere, just went in the sump guard, and so I've had to clean all that off. Just read a mess. So I took it off anyway. Should have took it off, stop being lazy. But now we'll get on with the oil fill. That's easy. I've got one of these tools, and does it. Go out and ratchet. It has a bit that make it bigger as well, but just goes on like that and it tightens up. If you can see that, probably do it one-handed if we get it to lock. Just goes on like that and then tightens and then grips it. You can do it by hand then. Get a bit more oil here, that's why I left pan there. Get that off. Let that drain out for a minute. I'll get rid of this old oil filter and then we'll get the new one on. Just make sure. And this should just screw on very easily. Like that. Right, I'll get this sun guard back on. That's it, it's all back together now. So we'll get a quick start, make sure everything's up and running okay. It's been started a couple of times already, so it should be fine. Bring up to and that's it, people. That's the service done. Hope it helps somebody out. Please give us a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.